Your financial habits shape your freedom, your stress, and your ability to achieve your goals. And if budgeting hasn't worked for you before, it might not be you. It's probably your method. If you haven't watched part 1 of this budgeting series where we laid the foundation, go check that out first. Because today, we're exploring 4 popular budgeting methods so you can choose the one that works for you. Hi guys, welcome back to the Wealth Lab JA. I'm Candice Brown, financial advisor by profession and educator at heart. I help people like you make smart financial choices, protect what matters most, and build real financial security. So if you're serious about your financial future, ensure to subscribe and join me here every Wednesday. Now let's dive in. So today is Ash Wednesday, a day many people use to reflect, reset, and set their intentions for the year. People often think about habits, sacrifices, and spiritual goals, but there's another area that many people tend to neglect: your money. Today, I'm going to walk you through some budgeting methods and show you how to pick the one that's right for your life. If you want to use this Lenten season to reset your financial habits, then this video is for you. So let's discuss why choosing the right method matters. Most people fail at budgeting not because they aren't disciplined, but because they try a method that doesn't suit their personality, their income, and their lifestyle. Think of it like shoes. You wouldn't race a marathon in high heels, would you? Why? Because they're not built for the job. And the same thing goes for budgeting. If a method feels like a struggle each month, then it will fail. But when a method aligns with your natural habits, it becomes easier and more sustainable. Before we dive into the methods, remember this: budgeting isn't punishment. It's clarity, it's control, and it's freedom. Now let's begin. So the first method, which is one of the more popular and beginner-friendly options, is the 50-30-20 rule. Here's how it works. Split your income into 3 different categories. You have 50% for your needs, such as your rent and utilities. There's 30% for your wants, such as eating out and entertainment. And then you have 20% towards your saving, investment, or debt payment. So let's say you earn $200,000 per month. 50% of that will be $100,000, 30% will be $60,000, and the remaining 20% will be $40,000. With this method, your needs should not exceed $100,000 for the month. If it does, you'll either have to lower your expenses in this category or borrow from another. What this means is that if your needs add up to 55% instead, you'll have to reduce your wants, not your savings, to 25% to make room in your budget. This works because it's simple and flexible. You don't need to track every dollar. You get a framework for balance that includes essentials, fun, and growth. You can also adjust the percentages to suit your lifestyle. So if you have less expenses, you can reallocate towards your savings or investments. Or if you have an urgent goal, you can reduce your wants or remove the category completely to make room. This method is great for people with a steady income, persons who are new to budgeting, and those who want a flexible yet balanced approach. The challenge on the flip side is if your income is irregular, it might seem a bit difficult as your percentages may shift every month. But with some tweaks, even freelancers can make it work. The second method is zero-based budgeting. With this method, you give every dollar a job before the month starts. At the end of the month, your income minus your expenses should equal to 0, hence the name. So using the same $200,000 example, let's say you've allocated everything towards your bills and your savings and realize that it adds up to only $196,000. You can't just leave it. You must give the remaining $4,000 a job. So income must equal to expenses at the end of the day. So this method works because it gives you maximum control over your money. It allows you to know where each and every dollar is going, and it prevents overspending. This method is great for people who like structure and control, people who are committed to tracking every expense, and those who want to optimize their savings. The challenge is that it takes time. You need to track spending, adjust, and review regularly. But the payoff is clarity. No surprises at the end of the month. The third method is a pay yourself first budget. With this method, you treat your savings like a bill. The first thing you do when you get paid is put money into your savings or investment, and then you budget what's left. This works because it allows you to build a strong savings habit. You can prioritize your financial goals, and it also helps you to avoid lifestyle creep. This method is great for persons who struggle to save, those with regular or predictable income, and for persons who want a method with minimal tracking. The challenge is that it does require some level of discipline and consistency, since you still have to manage the rest of your expenses. You'll also need to ensure you have realistic targets, because if you set aside too much too quickly, you may feel restricted and give up. The key is to start small and increase gradually. So the fourth and final method is the envelope or cash stuffing method. This method is actually pretty straightforward as well. You use physical envelopes or separate accounts for budgeting categories such as groceries, gas, and entertainment. And once that envelope is empty, that's it. You have no more money to use in that category until the next month. If there's money left in the envelope at the end of the month, you put it towards your savings or your investment. This method works because it creates an immediate awareness of your spending, fosters discipline, prevents overspending, and makes money feel real and visible. This is great for persons who tend to swipe their card without thinking, for overspenders, or people trying to gain control over their impulsive spending, as well as for visual learners. The challenge is that it can be difficult in a cashless world unless you're choosing to use the separate accounts. Using cash does make it a bit more challenging to pay your bills and make online payments, and it's more difficult for tracking your spending. So how do you know which method is right for you? I want you to ask yourself, do you want flexibility or do you want structure? Are you a detailed tracker or do you need spending limits? And do you have a steady income or does it fluctuate? But bear in mind, don't limit yourself, as you can even combine methods. For example, you can use a 50-30-20 as your baseline, but apply the pay your first method. There is no perfect method, just the one that works for your lifestyle. Budgeting isn't a one-size-fits-all. The right method allows you to stay in control, spend with purpose, and grow your financial future. Don't be afraid to try one, tweak it, or switch until you find your rhythm. The best method is the one that you'll actually use consistently. Now, since today is Ash Wednesday, I have an optional challenge for you. I want you to pick one budgeting method and commit to it for the next 40 days. Track your spending, review weekly, and notice the difference that intentionality makes. If you found this video helpful, ensure to give it a thumbs up and share with someone who you think needs to hear this. Comment below and tell me, which budgeting method are you using or planning to try? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And of course, subscribe for more tips every Wednesday. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.